Alright YouTube, so we are back, of course, talking about some Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I think going forward, even though we have this schedule that we do where we upload videos pretty much every other day, I think what we're going to start doing is when there's something substantial to talk about, even if it's a day that I normally wouldn't upload, we're going to make a video. Kind of like yesterday and kind of like today. Like when it's actual information for Remake, for the Remake project, or anything like that, not just like discussion videos or theory videos or anything like that. Like those can be every other day or whatever. So what of the day is Navtra is back on Resetera again. We've talked about Navtra a few times here on the channel. They're usually a credible source when it comes to leaks and rumors and things in terms of whatever it is they talk about. Anyways, Navtra is back talking about the PS5/PC port of Remake Part 1. And according to them, it's not just going to be a visual upgrade. It's also going to have story content. And also, apparently, it's not coming to Xbox. Now, I don't know exactly what that means, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. So we're just going to read over the questions really quickly and then read over Navtra's responses. Do you have any idea what date that they're trying to aim for FF7 are? I assume we're getting the PC/Xbox versions April 10th. Curious to see if they tried to get this new version out by then as well. Talking about the PS5 port, of course. Do you know anything about what FF7R upgrade will be like? Like, is it just 60 frames per second, high resolution, and fixing the texture issues, or something grander? Navtra replies with, the thing is, the port was supposed to be announced in the Future of Gaming event alongside Athia, 16, and Avengers Spider-Man. Those announcements were spread out in the past few months, and only this port remains. 8 months have passed, though, and there's the possibility my information might be outdated by now. That's why I chose not to talk about the content of the port and just confirm its existence. I guess there's also the possibility it might have been canceled, but I highly doubt that's the case. Here's what I last heard, though. It's releasing for PS5/PC, no Xbox, and it's a bit more substantial than a resolution increase. There's new story content. So to be clear here, Navtra is talking specifically about like the PS5/PC version of Remake Part 1, so like the next-gen version, so to speak. So when they say no Xbox, I think specifically they're saying Series X, not Xbox One. I still do believe that the Xbox One is going to get Remake Part 1. Because I've seen some people take that no Xbox comment and just thinking like no Xbox at all across the board, and that could be the case. I could absolutely be wrong, but that's not how I perceive it because they're talking about the next-gen version. And not having a Series X version on like launch of the next-gen version isn't really surprising. I think we all assumed that the PS5 would have some sort of exclusivity for that, just like the PS4. Now on to the elephant in the room, the big one here. According to Navtra, the PS5 version, the next-gen version only, is going to have additional story content. That's a big fucking problem. When we've talked in the past about, DLC or expansions for Remake, people were already on the fence about it, locking story content behind some sort of paywall. I get it. I wouldn't mind, paying, $10, $20, $30, whatever it would be for some expansion. That's fine. Now you're talking about locking story content behind an entire system. A system that is, for one, hard to kind of get your hands on. They're usually sold out. When sales are online, scalpers buy them up and then resell them for a profit. Not to mention, we are still knee-deep in the global pandemic bullshit. A lot of people are still in and out of work and just simply do not have the money or the extra funds to buy a brand new console. Now, before I go off on too much of a tangent and get too pissed off here about this, Navtra did say that their information could be outdated, and even if they are specifically talking about the next-gen version, that doesn't mean that additional story content couldn't come to the PS4 as well. But I'm just taking off what the information they're giving us, which is next-gen only. And I totally get it. Like, you want more people to buy the PS5 version. That's why you package it with some extra story content, and you want to help sell more PS5s. But if you're locking, like, additional story content, which I'd assume would maybe be, like, maybe a chapter or two, if that, behind, like, a several $100 paywall, like, I'm just simply not going to buy a PS5 to play a little bit of extra story. It's just not going to happen. If, like, Part 2 for Remake is exclusive to the PS5, then, yeah, probably I'll end up buying a PS5 at that point. And the other question that we got to ask, too, is, like, okay, if the PS5 version does have additional story content, what is it? Is it like OG FF7 story? So like what's going to come after the end of Remake should be, the trip to Calm and the Calm flashback. Is that what we're talking about here? Or is it additional story content in the vein of like, what the hell is happening with Zack? Or is it like something that took place in Midgar, like parallel to something we were already doing? And what I mean by that is we had that like cut Tifa chapter we've talked about a time or two in the past. Like some people will speculate that maybe that could be it. I don't know that they would go that route. Like I don't really see the point in doing like a DLC that takes place in the past, like unless it's going to substantially add something to the overall story, which I don't think it would. I don't see the point. And out of those three, if like I had to choose one, the best option I think for them would be some story content that is for the remake story, like the remake version of the FF7 story, some brand new stuff that didn't exist in the original. Like that I think is okay. Also with the Tifa one, like if that was it, that's a cut chapter. That's cut content technically. I don't remember how far into development they ever got on it. Maybe it was just the conceptual stage. Maybe they never even started making anything. But still, that was something that they wanted to put in the game and then didn't. If they resell that to you as DLC, that's kind of shady. Either way, my dudes, if all this is true, it's either going to be really good or really bad. My hopes are that, for one, the game does come to Xbox One. I think it should come to that platform. There's no reason that it shouldn't. It's kind of stupid if they don't. And secondly, if there is some sort of DLC story content, that it is also available for PS4. You know, the people who bought your goddamn game, the millions of people, 5, 6, 7 million, 8 million, whatever it was, I don't remember. Like, all the people who funded goddamn Remake Part 1, like, maybe let them also play the DLC. It makes a lot of sense to me. Look, I don't like to be this guy. Like, this isn't me anymore. I used to do a lot of, like, rant-type videos. That's just not who I want to be. I don't want to get on YouTube and upload a video of me just bitching for 5 or 6 minutes or something. But this has potential to be really bad, and I just think it's not a good look for Square Enix. So with this one, for sure, more than a lot of more recent videos, I gotta pass it up to you guys. What are your thoughts on this? The potential of them locking additional story content for Remake Part 1 behind a several $100 paywall. What are your thoughts? Either way, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys aren't new. What's up, more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter, @DashingDavidYT. I'm a Discord. The links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, my dudes.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Logain, or leave it like Cobain.